Hey guys, I think today we're going to talk a little bit about planting your fall garden. I think it's the perfect time. It's September 6th here, and here the temperature is starting to decrease. It looks like in our 10-day forecast, tomorrow might be our last 90-degree day, and we actually have some 70-degree days coming up. We've had a lot of rain, and I just have not had the perfect opportunity to where I felt safe setting out my fall plant starts yet. But I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling a little bit like I need to get my booty in gear and get this done. It's feeling about as perfect as it's going to be. I've had some bad luck planting fall starts. Last year I planted our broccoli a little too early. I planted it when it was the suggested dates to plant, and it was too hot. The weather just wasn't perfect. I have found with gardening that it is a gamble. It is always a gamble. One year what's right is going to be perfect. One year it's just not going to work. It is the healthiest form of gambling in my opinion, but it's always a gamble. So this year I feel like now is the time. I've been thinking a lot lately about fresh eating and eating in season. I really want to try to eat in season more. We preserve a lot. We preserve a lot of our food, but in order to really take advantage of that good fresh food aspect of gardening, I really want to start eating in season more. Planting in season, eating in season, and enjoying things. Giving ourselves time to eat some of the foods that to really miss eating some of the foods that we love, I think is important. To really enjoy what you're doing. So that's what we're going to shoot for. My kids, they love salads. They'll eat salads. They'll eat most vegetables. Brian now, on the other hand, he is a potato, green bean, and corn kind of guy. I'm still working on it, and we have found some things that he has liked that I've looked at in cooking. So let's talk about some of the things that I'm going to plant. Plants already have started. They're ready to go in the ground. I started them probably at the end of July, mid-July maybe, end of July. I have cabbage. This is a really pretty variety of cabbage. Brussels sprouts, which I have yet to grow to fruition. Waltham 29 broccoli, really good variety. Leeks, and then the other varieties I'm going to be planting, one of our favorites. Super yummy, super pretty. Another favorite. Kale. It's blue curled Scotch kale. Really yummy. Haven't decided on beets yet. These are early wonder. Having a really hard time learning to love beets. That's a big maybe. Radishes. I have pink beauty radishes and my favorite French breakfast radishes. Those are really good. Mustard. Maybe some purple lady bok choy. Definitely some collards. little gem lettuce. And some loose leaf salad blend lettuce. Going with Rocky Top. It's one of our favorites. And Henderson's black seeded Simpson. I also have some turnip seeds that I'll be planting some turnips too. And I think that's it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. What I found. Oh, it's heavy. Butternut. This is my kids' bed. We had a lot of fun stuff that they could just walk out here and pick on their own this spring and summer. It's about come to an end. What I have done so far to prepare this bed to replant is I spread some rabbit manure. I weeded it really well this morning. I broad forked it to loosen the soil just slightly. Broad forks, I've wanted one forever. They're very expensive. Thankfully, Brian made me one. It's amazing. If you want straight, good-sized carrots, broad forking before you plant them is just makes all the difference. In this bed, I have the kids' cherry tomato. I have this kale plant that I believe is a biennial that I'm saving for seeds. I probably should look up and see when I'm actually supposed to get seeds from it, but I'm thinking it's next summer maybe. Same with the carrots. I'm saving those for seeds as well. Need to do more research. I have a couple sunflowers back here, tiny baby ones that the kids just put seeds in. They aren't doing too well. They didn't like all the rain. I have some strawberry plants here that we just stuck in within the last few weeks. They're doing pretty well. What I'm gonna do in this bed is we're gonna plant hopefully all of the greens that we're gonna grow this fall and winter in here, so we can come right out of our door, come out here and pick what we need for our salads or to saute or cook with eggs, whatever we're going to use them for, and be able to pick them. What I'm going to work on is I'm going to get my seating square, I'm going to get all of the tags that I'm going to need for the plants and come up with a design that will work to get them all in here. That's what I'm going to do next. radishes, I'm going to succession sow those. I have my area elected to plant my radishes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a handful in an area, and then I'm going to allow 1 to 1.5 weeks, probably more like 1.5 weeks, and I'm going to plant another little handful. That way I'm not going to have all my radishes ready at once and really no way to preserve those. I'll have to eat a bunch of radishes all at one time, but I want to keep these going every week and a half until I just can't anymore, till the weather doesn't allow it. On the depth for planting our lettuces, you want to surface sow those. So what that means is you're going to sprinkle the seeds over the top of a pretty smooth surface of dirt, and then you can either take some bagged soil and sprinkle it over the top, or I take my hands and I just kind of use my fingers as a rake, and I rake the dirt around, or I'll take the big clods of dirt and I'll break them up over the top. That's what works for me. They come up every time. I've never had an issue, other than they will wash out if it rains a whole lot, until they get good and rooted. As far as the other things in my seeding square, most of the greens and most seeds are going to be planted at 1 inch deep. This seeding square came with a pretty cool little dibble tool. It has 1 inch mark, 2 inches mark, 3 inches mark, and 4 inches mark. That comes in handy. It also has the instructions, a planting guide for the different spacings that for normal plants that you're going to plant need to be spaced. You lay your square. It gives you a color for your different varieties of plants, and you can lay your square. This is square foot. Lay your square, poke holes for those colors that you want to plant, and it's as easy as that. In beds like this, it really helps. If I was planting in my big garden, I'm just basically going to guess and make my row, make it the best I can, but here, this really comes in handy.